Now let's get to the first blowout in week 3. Your team, the Minnesota
Mhm.
Vikings.
Yes, sir.
What they did to the Texans should have been a crime. Somebody should be going to jail for this.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings ran the Houston Texans back to Houston 34-7, which makes the Vikings 3-0. Texans' first loss of the season. Worst loss I've seen them have in a minute.
Since they had before, this is before CJ.
Before
Yeah, they ain't
CJ
had
got
lost like
there. Yeah,
yeah
literally.
before CJ. They want to get blew out.
Yeah. So let's address CJ first before we give the Vikings, they deserve their flowers. We can get to them in a second, but let's address the problem with the Texans. CJ Stroud got 20-31, 215, a touchdown, 2 picks. That means either he was just throwing out there and they weren't catching it, or the defense was putting too much pressure on him and he just threw the
Defense.
ball up to not get sacked. You got no touchdowns outside of Cam Akers. So Nico Collins put up yards for nothing. Diggs put up yards for nothing. Dale put up yards for nothing. And no touchdowns out of any of those. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you reading that right?
Wow. Wow. How did he? Wow. Wow. He pretty much gave all of his receivers a touchdown.
Yeah, four. He had four touchdowns,
I see that. Jefferson,
under 200
Jones,
yards
Naylor,
passing at
and
that.
what?
Under 200 yards passing too.
I know that was the most shocking part. He had a Sam Darnold type of game with no picks. That's wow, wow. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this. How do you? Let me ask you, man. What's
Hey,
your take
he's
on that?
doing what I told him to do. Don't mess the game up. He not throwing picks. He throw one pick in 3 games. Looking good out here to me. He has the most touchdowns in the NFL.
I'm starting to think Tom Brady was right when he said quarterbacks get thrown out too soon. They don't get
So,
development in college like they used to.
so the problem with Sam Darnold was he was good in college. His problem was the team he got drafted to.
Yeah, a lot of players. Look at what happened to Baker,
Yeah.
Darnold.
Well, I'm saying I got him mad at Baker. Baker was in a good situation. It was the front office that didn't really give him a chance
Right, but I'm
because
saying
he was winning in Cleveland.
look at what he did once he moved to Tampa Bay, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was winning in Cleveland. It's once he left Cleveland he wasn't winning.
Yeah,
But Sam Darnold was drafted by the Jets.
right.
That's a whole different. That's a bit. That's almost abyss.
That's a Bryce Young type situation.
Yeah, basically they about the same at the time.
And both Darnold and Baker played in North Carolina for a season.
Mm-hmm.
So they went through that same gauntlet that Bryce is going through right now.
Yeah.
And look at Justin Fields. We'll get to him later, but look at his situation. He was in
Don't you? Ooh, I
Chicago.
can't wait till we get to that. Don't. I can't wait till we get to that.
you got
This is
you
for
got some
Bears.
words for that?
This is for Bears people, really. For that, not
It is,
really.
it is, it is.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's
get
where it's
there.
at. Yeah, this is for
But shout
Bears
out to
people.
Dom, man. My
He's doing.
policy when it comes to quarterback, if you're gonna throw for 200 yards, I need at least 2 touchdowns. He doubled that, so I really have no complaints.
And the only reason he threw for under 200 because the defense was just owned. Uh, so they was always in scoring range every time they got the ball. them two
Wow.
picks, them two picks. That's what they was at like the 20-yard line, so he had far to throw it.
He had part. Oh, that makes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's
so
why he
the
was under two.
so Minnesota defense plays so well. Donald didn't have to throw so far.
Yeah, and he can obviously
He
as
didn't
you
have
all
to.
see. He didn't really have to this game because defense was on him. They blocked the punt. They got a fumble. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't playing no games.
So, do you have any complaints or anything that you want Minnesota to improve on going forward? Being 3-0, is there anything that they need to work on?
The biggest thing we don't have a lot to improve on. I was just say get healthy because we're still doing this without T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah, so our biggest problem is health. I'll probably say Sam would be the other because people still ain't gonna give him the credit.
I will.
Because
I see
well,
the
once he has a bad game, which he's going to have, it's the NFL.
yeah.
Then like I told you, same old Sam Darnold.
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that he managed to get 4 touchdowns, that looks like a Sam Darnold stat line.
Yeah, 180. Yeah, exactly. But
That
Aaron
looks like
Jones rushed
him.
for 100 yards, so
Yeah. And then yeah, Aaron Jones running for 100 yards. That's wild. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, damn. But I guess when you got Jefferson out there somewhere, I guess anything's possible. Just throw it up.
yeah, that sounds right to me.
He out there
That
somewhere.
works for me. Yeah, that works for
He
me.
out there somewhere.